theme tonight is on personal development. Here we go. The thinker and the prover. You might have heard, if you were in Bangkok, while I was doing the training on the setting and achieving your goals, that I spoke about the thinker and the prover. The thinker and the prover is a concept that was first formulated by Dr. Moody in the early 60s. He's better known as being the founder of the rebirthing movement. And he said that there are two different parts to the mind, the thinker and the prover. And by placing these two different activities in the conscious mind, the thinker, and the prover in the subconscious mind, we are given a key to personal development. There are two secrets to success in network marketing. How many times have you heard me say that? Duplication and personal development. This is pure personal development. It's also the neuropsychology of network marketing, which I love, which I'm trying to share with you. So, the thinker thinks and the prover proves. Whatever the thinker thinks, the prover has to prove. We're going to delve deep into this tonight. If you can understand this, you will have a really important key for your success in Amplivo and actually in all areas of your life. So it comes down to your self-belief. If you believe that you can do something, if you think, oh yes, I could do that, you've got your gifts, you've got your talents, you've got your abilities, you've got your experience. If you think you can do something, the prover will straight away start sending you proof from the store of memories in your subconscious mind where the prover lives that you can do it. If, on the other hand, you think, oh, I don't know, or I've never managed to do that before, your prover will start sending you proof that you're probably not going to succeed this time because the other times that you tried it, you didn't make it and everything. In other words, your negative self-talk will trap you in a cycle of self-limiting failure. Your fear of failure, your fear of rejection will be strengthened. It will sap your energy. It will demotivate you. And the contrary is also true. If you think to yourself, I could do this, the prover will start telling you why you can do it. And that will motivate you, that will give you energy to achieve it. The thinker thinks and the prover proves. Now, the prover does not have a life of its own. The prover hangs around in your subconscious mind, waiting for the thinker to send it a thought. And when it's received a thought, it can spring into action. The problem is, dear friends, dear Amplivo partners, we're thinking all the time. Your thinker is always thinking. There's always self-talk going on, which is another reason why you have to watch out for your negative self-talk, because there's always someone listening. You are listening to your self-talk, whether it's positive or negative. So watch out whether you're feeding your positive prover or a negative prover. Let's delve deeper. Let's go into this area where all your memories, all your life experiences are stored. And over the last 30 or 40 years, there's been more and more reports about people who've had these near-death experiences. You know, when they're clinically dead for 2 or 3 minutes, sometimes longer, 7 or 8 minutes. I used to read the books. In the last 10 or 15 years, there were all the videos on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, put in near-death experiences, and you'll get a whole bunch of videos coming up by people speaking about the experience they had when they'd had an accident and were declared dead, or when they're on the operating table and they flatlined for a few minutes, you know, where there's no heartbeat, where there's no brain function, and listen to them describing experiences that they had. We're not interested here tonight in our beliefs, whether you believe there's a life after death and it goes on, whether you believe it's some kind of chemical reaction in the brain, which is the way the materialists explain this. That's not interesting for us tonight. What is interesting is that many, many, many of them, from all the different parts of the world, young, old, male, female, professor, someone who hasn't even gone to school yet, many of them report the phenomenon that they see their whole lives in front of them during this time that they're having this out-of-the-body experience. This is the important part for our training tonight. And some describe that they see a panorama, like 360-degree view of everything they've ever done in their life all at the same time. Other people say it's like a film going backwards from this moment to the moment of birth. That can vary. What does not vary is that they say they see everything. They see everything. That means for us that everything is stored inside us. So now is the question, how can we influence what is stored in our memory bank, in our subconscious mind, in whatever part of us that is having this experience of when we're out of the body, and which we don't have in everyday life, because quite frankly, if we did, how would we filter all those different experiences? How would we be able to function in the moment, in the here and now, if we were consciously aware of everything we've ever done in life? There would be an overload. There'd be an absolute overload. So the importance of this is that we can learn through it to take control of the thinker-prover dynamic. If you think you can, and energy and motivation will be set free. If you think you can't, you won't be able to, but you will get confirmation of what you actually thought. Before I go into how we can take control of this thinker-prover dynamic and give you some clues on that, let me give you an example from a patient we had in the clinic where I used to work. You know that I was for many years in a clinic for long-term addiction therapy when I worked in Germany. And there we had patients with us for 10 to 12 months, all different kinds of patients, all different kinds of addictions, mainly substances and alcohol, but also some gambling addicts. Let me tell you what I learned, and I'm very, very grateful to him, grateful to all my patients. They helped me to learn so much. One of them was a gambling addict, and he said that he could not go past like one of those shops, one of those centers where they have all the one-armed bandits and all those machines where you put in a coin and you pull a lever or you press a button and 3 bills will come up, and you win or you don't win. Yeah, one of those. A gambling casino of that kind. And he'd been a successful businessman, but his addiction got the better of him and he ruined his career. He got into debt. It spoiled his marriage, his relationships, and he really suffered from it. And he came to us for long-term therapy. And he described what happened. This is it. He said, when he came to one, he could feel the urge inside him, and he thought to himself, I'll just go in for 10 minutes at the most. I'm going to spend €5 at the most, and that's it. And his prover would say to him, yeah, there have been times when you can go in there. He was not describing the thinker and the prover at the time. This is me explaining to you what happened in his mind, giving you context of thinker and prover. So his prover would say to him, yeah, there have been times when you've gone in for 5 minutes, you've only spent €10 and you've come out. And he'd think to himself, and you know, in those 5 minutes, I might win. You know, I could turn the 10 euros into 30 or 40, maybe even 50 euros. And the prover would say to him, yes, you've done that sometimes. The prover is not there to question your thinker. The prover is not there to enter a debate with your thinker, what you think. The prover is there to prove faithfully. The prover is one of the best friends you've got in the whole world. And 2.5 hours later, he would come out. He had more debt, 200 euros, 250 euros. And he'd come out and be beating up on himself. Negative self-talk. I'm such an idiot. I'm such a fool. I've done it again. And the prover would tell him, yes, you've done this so many times before. You did it there and then, and you did it 3 months ago, and you did it 2 weeks ago. And the prover will just be proving him. So he feels worse about himself. But there was one thing which was important to him, and now listen to this. Yeah. The prover confirmed his negative self-image. The prover confirmed what he was thinking about himself. No one else was confirming him anything. No one else was talking to him about stuff like this. He was giving him self-confirmation. Your prover will give you self-confirmation for whatever you think. Now let's come back to you, what you can do to take over what I'm calling the thinker-prover dynamic. If you can take control of this, dear friends, if you can take control of this, you will be successful in Amplivo and in all the other areas of your life, your relationships, your job, your business, whatever it is. So let's think about this. You need to cultivate a mindset of growth and abundance. You need to get away from a mindset of lack and scarcity. Do you know that there's enough food in the world to feed everyone? There's no need for the millions to be dying a painful death of hunger and famine. There's no need for it. There's more than enough food, but it's not distributed fairly. Yeah? You have to get away from a feeling of lack and scarcity in your life, that you don't have enough, that it's never enough what you do, or other people succeed and get rich. You have to get away from that. You have to develop an attitude of gratitude. I've got food on my plate. I've got a roof over my head. I can pay my bills. There is abundance. I live in abundance. Yeah, it is an abundant world. I live in an abundant world. I work in an abundant world. Abundance. Create a mindset of growth and abundance. Every time you catch yourself thinking about lack, not enough, scarcity, not being enough, not being good enough, stop the self-talk and remind yourself of all the good things that you have. That's really something that you can do that's really important, which is the second point I want to talk to you about. Every time you catch yourself thinking negatively, whether it's about yourself, whether it's about someone else, whether it's about the situation in the world, stop. We as individuals are not going to be able to change the major cause of all the things going on in the world at the moment. Hey, if we could stop the war and the suffering right now, we'd do it. Boom, done. Yeah. We can only do what we can do with everyone around us and everyone whose lives we touch. If we go through the world doing that, then we're spreading out a whole network of people doing positive things for each other everywhere that we are, with everyone who we meet, and we're changing it like that. Yeah. Do the very best that you can where you can and stop your negative self-talk. You have gifts, talents, and abilities that are slumbering away inside you, waiting to be woken from their slumbers, like Sleeping Beauty in the fairy tale, like the frog waiting to be kissed by the frog, by the prince. Yeah, be your own prince, kissing your own frog. Yeah, awaken your gifts, talents, and abilities. Every single person in the world has their own story, has their own gifts, talents, and abilities. The people who are not succeeding, who are down and out, who are in a mess, who are having trials and tribulations, have also got gifts, talents, and abilities, and they're suffering because they're not able to develop them. Again, one of the major things that we learned in the clinic was that the people coming to us for 10 or 12 months therapy all suffered under the experience of not being able to develop their gifts, talents, and abilities. People with great musical gifts, they'd never been able to play an instrument, they'd never been able to sing somewhere in a choir or only in the shower or whatever. We gave them music therapy, watch how they blossom. People who were good with their hands, never been able to create things. Yeah, let them paint, let them sculpt, let them do things. People who had never studied, who were interested in astronomy or mathematics, give them a course in that and watch how they blossom. Watch how their positive self-esteem grows. Stop your negative self-talk, start concentrating on what you can do, on the gifts, talents, and abilities that you have. Nurture them and stop concentrating on what you can't do and what you've never had a chance to do. Create your own chances. Which brings me on to the third point. Surround yourselves with positivity, with positive people. People who like you, love you, care for you, support you, help you. People with whom you can laugh, dance, sing, party, go on holiday, go for a walk, have deep discussions. Even if you have different opinions, you can speak with each other with the greatest respect. You can have some of the greatest conversations with someone who has a completely different opinion because you value each other, the exchange of ideas, that you're able to exchange the ideas. Thank you. Attitude of gratitude. Thank you that we're able to talk like this. Surround yourself with positivity and positive people and watch how your positive side grows. Positive self-talk, positivity. Yeah, your prover will thank you for it. If your prover thanks you for it, you will be grateful every time you send a positive thought to your prover, and your prover overfloods your conscious mind with all the proof of why it's going to be good, of why it can happen, of why it's positive, of why everything is wonderful. That's the third thing. And the fourth thing is developing your self-esteem. How can you develop your self-esteem? Well, one of the very best ways is to give compliments and to watch how people light up when you've given them a compliment. I used to do it as an exercise, and now it's just automatic. I do it because I love lighting people up. When you're on a walk and you see someone with a dog coming towards you, give them a compliment. Just say to them in passing by, nice dog. Yeah. People love their dogs. Do you know any dog owner who does not adore their dog? Everyone loves their dog. And when you say to them, nice dog, yeah, they always say, oh, thank you, or smile back, or nod and smile. Yeah, you've given someone a compliment. Make that an exercise. Try and give 3 compliments a day for the next week. All the exercises I suggest are always for a week. Because if you say to yourself, I'm going to do this for a whole month, it's too much, first of all. Your prover will start saying to you, are you sure? Because you've tried to do other exercises for a month, you didn't manage. That subscription you took to the gym on January the 1st, it didn't last 3 weeks. Yeah, the gyms make a lot of money in January. From cancer, yeah. Anyway, so, and then when you go to sleep at night, when your head is on the pillow, just try to remember the 3 situations where you said to someone, nice dog, yeah? I do it with women who I pass in the street, but I make sure that I'm walking on so that they know that I'm really only giving them a compliment and walking on. Don't turn around afterwards. Someone wearing a nice dress or a nice color, they're passing by, I'll say, really nice color, yeah, or that color suits you, yeah, something like that. Hey, I do it with people with strange colored hair, you know, where you see the purple and blue and things, they've colored their hair. They like their hair. They're happy. They're walking along. They're happy. They've got their strange color hair. Yeah. I say to them, nice hair. Yeah. They smile. Yeah. Give people compliments wherever you can. And if you can't give a compliment, give a smile. You know that if you smile at someone, they automatically smile back because it happens to you when someone smiles at you. Someone smiles at you, you smile back. Yeah. Smiling releases serotonin. That is the happy hormone in the brain, the chemical. It lasts for up to 30 seconds. So that means that when you smile, you release the serotonin, you lighten your mood for at least 30 seconds. Here's something else you can do for your negativity when you're trying to stop that negative self-talk. Just give yourself a smile. Say, oh, I'm doing negative self-talk again. And that alone, through the muscles in your face, this is interesting, will release the happy hormone which will lift your mood and which will stop you feeling so negative and which will help you stop the negative self-talk. So all this culminates in the thinker thinks and the prover proves. Why is this important? This is important because the thoughts you choose to cultivate today will determine the rewards that you reap tomorrow. Let me repeat that. The thoughts you choose to cultivate today will determine the rewards that you reap tomorrow. You choose. That's your freedom. It's your freedom and you have to use it. We have some freedoms in life that are limited through society, through laws. You can't always do what you want to do, which is also a good thing, isn't it? Sometimes it's not, but sometimes it is. But here you can choose to take control of your thinker, prover dynamic by doing all the things that we've spoken about this evening, by exercising. It's a little exercise. Do it for a week, the one that I just suggested. I'm only saying 3. Once you get into the habit, you won't be counting anymore. You'll be enjoying it so much. And your self-esteem will grow, your positive self-esteem, your self-belief. You'll have more energy, you'll be more motivated, you'll be happier. The happier you are, the healthier you will be. It all fits together. The thinker and the prover. That's the training for today. Now, many of the subjects that I've touched on tonight will be coming into the Academy as articles. Hoping around May, there'll be a lot of them. Could be around 30 or so, yeah? And I'm just going to put them in there so that you can go to this personal development section that we're developing right now, and you can choose yourself which title draws you to it. Which one do you want to read first and next and everything else? So there's freedom for you. We just spoke about freedom. But also trust your guidance. If you get drawn to something, there'll be a reason for it. Yeah. And in there, there'll be this one. It won't be called the thinker and the prover. It will be coming in as become a faithful gardener to achieve amplivo success. I said that very briefly when I said plant seeds, positive seeds of growth and abundance in your subconscious mind. And that's like being a gardener. When you plant seeds in a garden, you water them with your love and attention and positivity. The sun shines on them with the way you think about them, yeah? Become a faithful gardener. Become a faithful gardener of what you put into your mind. You should be watching out what you put into your body, not eating a whole load of rubbish. So watch out for what you put into your mind. Plant positive seeds. Become a faithful gardener. Another article in there will be create a mindset of growth and abundance. Whole article on that. There'll be many articles in there which you find we touched on this evening.